It's the show 16.
I thought you were going to do the countdown, like on Wayne's World, where he's like, we can see your head bobbing, Wayne.
Yeah.
3,
2. Number 16. We're still going.
Number 16. One of the first numbers I ever wore as a football player.
Yep. No, that's good.
A lot of rough news today, man.
Yeah, so let's start. Your man.
Coaching moves.
College football carousel hasn't begun, but
it's begun and it is deepening fast.
So let's start. We got the coaching carousel. We got Don Brown.
I like that. That's a nice little segment. Coaching carousel.
That's it. Yep. I think that's what I called it in the title there. Yeah.
Now, carousel is a funny word. The spelling is interesting.
Yeah, it's CAROUSEL.
Yeah, sure. Sounds right.
So let's get a couple of updates here. Wait, what?
CAROUSEL. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. CAROUSEL. Carousel. I never doubt you.
You never doubt me?
Yeah. So a couple big moves, man. I mean, big moves in the fact that we're talking big time schools dismissing or phrasing it the right way. Let's just say that there's coaching changes happening.
Okay. So Don Brown out of Michigan, right?
Defensive coordinator, University of Michigan, out Don Brown. I know you and I have we speak of, I speak about him very highly. I think he's absolutely, phenomenal coach, old school guy, Northeast guy. What's that?
Is or was?
Oh. What do you mean? Like, has the time passed him by?
I'm just asking. I don't know one way or the other.
Oh, he's a Northeast guy, obviously. Was the head coach at UMass for a couple years.
I know he was. He coached at Northeastern. We played them.
Well, I was just going to say, I know you have a certain love for him because of – I wouldn't say love, but you have a certain respect for him because of where he coached at in Northeastern, where a lot of people don't know that they did have a very strong and solid program for a lot of years at Northeastern.
No, Northeastern sucked.
Come on, dude. Okay.
Northeastern sucked.
Anyway, Don Brown at University of Michigan. Some of the things that I read, defense was ranked. I'm just going right over it because I'm just going right over it.
They did. They spelled it.
Yeah. So in the year that is 2020, and a year where Michigan was not as good as Michigan usually is, Jim Harbaugh is going into the last year of his contract. Is Don Brown a scapegoat or a fall guy, or is he really part of the reason that Michigan lost so much? I guess is my question. If you look at the statistics, his defense has been nationally ranked pretty much every single year within the top 20. However, the last 2 years given up an astronomical amount of yards to Ohio State, which we know within that is always an issue. This year, his defense was not very good. I believe they were middle of the pack as far as middle of the country in terms of total defense and things of that nature. So is he just the fall guy, or is he an actual issue for Michigan losing?
I think it's both.
Is my combination.
I don't know. Him per se is the issue for them losing. But the fact
we know he runs an interesting scheme with an odd front, a lot of moving parts,
I don't
high
know.
Football IQ.
I don't know if that's it. I'm just saying that like it's not working. So I don't know. I don't know whether he's.
Right.
I don't think he's the problem per se. I just think that it's not working, and they're not getting results, and that, or I should say, they're not getting the results they, I guess, would hope to have. Would be the word.
It's Michigan.
It's Michigan, and so let's take a quick gander because I wanted to know if I was wrong, and I guess I was wrong on
Northeastern.
I guess he wasn't the head. I thought he was the head coach when I was there.
No, I thought it was after you. Well, the program shut down around 2000.
He was great at Northeastern, so I had to check it out. And he was a coach at Plymouth State. That was a powerhouse program. So
Plymouth State Division 3 or 2?
Yeah, Division 3. But they were
and Plymouth State is Maine? New Hampshire?
I want to say Massachusetts. Wouldn't that be the Plymouth State?
How about we just go with the Northeast?
Let me think. Am I wrong? Plymouth State is.
If you were wrong about one thing, it's highly unlikely you're going to be wrong about two.
No, I'm actually completely wrong on Don Brown. I have him confused with somebody else. So well, Don Brown.
Good answer.
Don Brown came in after he.
I say he's old school because if you see a picture of him, he's got that old school, really brushy mustache.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know Don Brown. So
short guy.
Only reason I know he was he was at UConn for a year or so.
No, he was at UConn.
But
because I know he was the head coach at UMass.
I don't know him.
He was the head coach at UMass when Victor Cruz was there.
Yes. So
that would have been 2003.
Yeah, he was
2004, 2005, somewhere around there.
He was at Plymouth State when I was at UConn. So
Plymouth State is, did we just figure out where?
Division 3 in I assumed it was Massachusetts. Isn't Plymouth Rock?
I will find out. God, I love it. Plymouth State University, Plymouth, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right. So I figured it was
4,200 kids.
Okay. So
it's basically the size of Saddlebrook and Butler.
He turned around Plymouth State. He turned around Northeastern. He turned UMass was pretty good for many years.
I think he kind of took them to the next level, though.
They were very, very good. I guess
didn't they win a national? Didn't they win an FCS national championship?
Yep, in 2006. So
it's nice when you have Victor Cruz, I'm sure.
Right, that's right. So EJ played for him. I got it now.
Oh, okay. Right, shout out to EJ.
Yes. So now, all right.
Good. Then we can keep rolling along because now that goes into continuing on the coaching carousel.
So hold your breath on that. So Maryland. So that's where I think
now University of Maryland. Think about it. Put it together.
Right. He was with Dex.
Right. So we're fortunate enough, Dexter McDougal, our secondary coordinator,
how
coordinator got to play for Don.
So did he go with Edsel to
Maryland?
No. Okay.
No.
So he was with Ralph Friedgen.
Throwback.
They were very good. Ralph Friedgen was excellent. So
Ralph Friedgen was the original Maryland Under Armour coach.
Then he went to UConn. So was he at UConn under
Don Brown? Went to UConn
for 1 year. He must have been. I'm guessing he was with Paul Pasqualeone. That was probably the first. That was probably not a. And then he went to. Then he was hired to Boston College.
Right, and that's where he, who was he with at Boston College? Adazio?
Adazio, yeah. It has to be. He has to have been with He has
So
to.
then
Yeah,
he got
has to have been with Pasqualeone and then Adazio because they're all Connecticut, New England guys.
Right, Northeast guys. But here's so Don Brown left BC to take the job at Michigan. Say yes.
Yes, that's correct.
So, that being said,
he has an excellent head coaching record, 96-45.
So, before we leave good old Don Brown, question: is he still unemployed in a week?
No. So now that I've read this a little more, and I knew of him, I mean, I know he's famous, but I guess I didn't really know him. So, and he played his college football at Norwich, which I think is in
military school, D3, and Vermont. That is Vermont.
Yeah. So,
here's my thing. I've heard him speak, and I'm not saying I'm some football guru XO type of person, but
I hope you are.
Let's just, well, I'm trying to stay, I'm trying to, keep it down a little bit. I'm not pumping the brakes, but when I heard him speak, looking around the room, you can tell guys that are XO guys, and when they're talking on a specific package or blitz or this or that, and they start spewing out football terminology, and I love the fact that I could look around that room and see that about 70% of the room, because you got your youth coaches in there, you got these other guys. Most people had absolutely no idea what he was talking about. And you just kind of knew it. And I'm not saying I fully knew what he was talking about, but I'm pretty sure I grasped it a lot more than the rest of the room. And you could just tell, like, hey, this is a Northeast guy with a high football IQ explaining things in a way that most of these guys in this room are absolutely clueless. So you say he is not unemployed in a week.
Well, I mean, everything is your network, so it depends on what jobs become.
That's my question. Now, does he look to the NFL?
Does he look to the NFL?
Do the Jets call him up and say, be my DC? Obviously not, because the head coach is going to want his guys. No. Correct. Here's the thing. That being said, okay, the next move on the coaching carousel, your boy, LSU, defensive coordinator, Bo Pelini.
Who I think was a better head coach than he was in a strange way. I mean, he wasn't bad at Nebraska. He is
now unemployed.
Yeah, so
sent on his way from LSU.
Different situation. So let me give you my quick summary on Don Brown. So I didn't watch a ton of Michigan games. I did watch Rutgers, and I did watch them play. The Rutgers game, if I was a head coach, would have been frustrating if I was the head coach of Michigan.
Would have been frustrated with your defense.
Yes, because Rutgers ran.
So I would have got yelled at.
The Johnny Langan Wildcat style, like run most of the time, throw every once in a while, play, and they ran it. They ran it all over them, and you knew it was coming. And I assumed that everybody in the stadium knew it was coming. And now some teams have stopped it. Okay, I don't know what others have not. So I mean, I just think that didn't look great. I think they gave up a lot of points. To a lot of teams, they didn't seem to be a super effective team in getting off the field. So
which is the main thing that you need to do.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think that he's partially the scapegoat, and so that's the situation there. Now, Bo Pelini, 100% is not the scapegoat. He 100% was getting torched on defense.
Crushed.
100%. So, I think that that was a good move. They played well at the end of the year, LSU. The change in quarterback was helpful.
Too little, too late.
Well, they went to Brad Johnson's son at quarterback.
You're talking about LSU.
I think they went to Matt Johnson. I think it's Matt Johnson. Yeah, Max Johnson. And he was pretty darn good. So I think it was a good move. LSU, he had to do something. I mean, there are probably people yelling.
He had to make a huge move.
If he didn't fire him, he might be fired himself. So,
so along with that being said, it's also said that LSU offensive coordinator will retire from on the field position.
All right, so this is the guy that was the offensive coordinator, but they brought in Joe, whatever his name is,
Brady,
who they thought was the whiz kid, who now at Carolina can't score any points. So yeah, everybody's a whiz kid. All right, I know.
Everybody knows everything until you get to the league, and now all of a sudden it's not as easy.
Everybody's an offensive genius until they don't have the quarterback that they need. Well, yeah. So anyway, point is, they had a great offense. Obviously, Joe Burrow was pretty damn good since before he got hurt. He was playing good for the Bengals with a different offensive coordinator. So I just think that them replacing this guy, will this guy turn up again? Steve Ensminger? Is that right?
The offensive coordinator, I believe it said he is retiring from on the field position. So
he's retiring. So is he going to stay at LSU? I guess.
I guess, and then, but is this their way of? I don't know. Is this their way of getting him out of that job without it looking so bad that, we had to fire both coordinators? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think they like him better, and they don't want to just kick him to the curb. That's what I think.
So
and obviously he won the national championship the year before as the offensive coordinator, but they brought in Joe to kickstart it with some different stuff.
It's, to me.
What's Carolina? Let's see. I'm curious how Carolina Panthers are. Are they good or
no? They're not very good, but it's also year one of a rebuild.
It is year one,
and they have Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. I'm not saying he's whatever, but he does have a fully redone knee. And McCaffrey hasn't played on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
I don't think, and that's, a guy I root for in Matt Rule.
Well, it's funny. Carolina Panthers fired their GM.
Yesterday. Right. And the owner, if you've ever seen the owner, he is a very hands-on type of owner who's going to get the job done. He even said today he's not hiring a search firm or anything. He's going to make that decision himself.
The search firms.
Does LSU call Don Brown?
They might make that call. Yeah. I could see that.
My thing is, how could you not?
I'm sure they will. It's just yeah.
Moving on in the coaching world, a hometown boy will slide in from, I don't want to say slide in. It's probably a well-earned job. will be the interim defensive line coach after Ole Miss dismissed their defensive line coach, Marquise Watson.
So who's the guy moving in?
Marquise Watson. He was the GA this year, but he's going to he'll be the D-line coach for their bowl game after they dismissed the D-line coach.
That's my man. I was his first trainer when he was in 8th grade.
I'm just telling you right now, that may be the biggest, largest, quote-unquote linebacker I've ever seen play at a high level at like when he was at Bryant. But my man could move, that's for sure.
He was a good dude.
Great dude. I worked with him at some camps, followed him when he was, making the transition from his last year of college football into the coaching world, watched him stay at Bryant for a year, go to Amherst for a year, back to Bryant. Then he was at Rutgers as a GA for a year, and then ultimately heads with his old high school coach, Coach Partridge, down to Ole Miss, and just want to see him continue to do well. I know he was named to that top 35, under 35 last year to watch in coaching. So it's exciting. I get excited for those guys to see where they're going to go and hopefully continue to climb that ladder. Because I just think it's awesome. It really is, especially when you have a personal relationship. They're good guys. They're doing it the right way and doing the right thing. And, so excited to see what he does, during his I guess what you want to call a couple week job interview of on the job interview as far as, being the D-line coach for that.
Yeah, all I know is Marquise Watson follows me on Twitter, so I'm down with that.
Follows me too. Yes, sir. At Coach Marquise Watson.
Is that the how can you find out how many verified followers you have? Do you know that?
What do you mean verified? It says it right next to your thing. If you look at I only have 857
verified followers. No, I know how many followers I have. I'm saying.
What do you mean you're talking blue chip?
Yeah, how could yeah?
I don't know. Go through and count.
I have 601,000 followers.
How many?
601,000.
601,000, like 601, comma?
Yes, comma.
I don't think that counts.
What doesn't count?
I'm just saying, I don't think those are real followers.
What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to bring you down so that you get all fired up and go through and actually count.
I'm looking at my followers. Dylan Sikorsky.
Oh, when you listen,
2024, 6'5", 290 lineman.
You have probably every prospect from class of 2030 up.
Then yeah, I'll give a shot. I wish I could figure that out though.
Why don't you email Twitter?
How do you? I was verified.
Oh, here we go.
I was.
They took it away.
They took it away. They did.
Wait. Which Twitter was verified? Was it your personal one or NUC?
It used to be called at Coach Schuman. Used to be called at NUC football. I think it was. It was at NUC football. And then what happened was I didn't want to go by at NUC football anymore. I wanted to go by at Coach Schuman. Expand the brand, you know what I'm saying? So what I did was
I snorted. I laughed so hard. Expand the brand. I think you should make a T-shirt that says that. But
expand the brand. So
the brand.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
In order to expand the brand, I had to. I couldn't just pigeonhole myself. So. I was verified on NUC football since 2008 or 9. And when I changed my name, they unverified me.
And you haven't been able to get it back.
And I emailed them. I'm like, what's going on here? I want my verification back. Nothing.
You're like, I want my blue chip back.
I'm pissed off. If I don't.
Where's my blue check mark, man?
I used to have 2 million followers, and they purged me. Twitter. I must have.
Now you're only down to 601,000.
No, I must have had a lot of fake followers, man.
Well, I don't know, man. You gotta. Now, so your NUC one has 601.
What's that?
Is it the same? Is it the same Twitter?
I don't have a NUC one.
It's the same. Your Twitter is the same.
Twitter is at Coach Schuman.
Right. And that's the only one you have. You only have one Twitter account, correct?
What's that? I have other Twitter accounts. I don't use them anymore though. I mean, they're still there, but
your at Coach Schuman account has 601.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm close. I almost have 1,000.
You almost have 1,000?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Get your game right.
Well, I'm expanding my brand on the podcast.
Expand your brand, man. Expand the brand.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So
we got a good question here today. A random question. If you can help me in any direction. Let's see what we got here. Do you know of a reference or any way then reaching out to college coaches? Yeah. Yes. Email them. Call them. Go through their list of contacts.
Everything you can possibly think of
on the college website and go to coaches. They have their phone number and their email.
Fill out questionnaires, right?
Yeah, questionnaires you could do. Yep.
All right. Just should we reference the fact that it's unfortunate that there's you don't have a lot of film, but if there is any year where I think film will, you know what I mean, not play as film always plays a role, but I think coaches are going to be more receptive to get less film this year than any other.
Yeah. What do you mean? Let's say that again.
Just in general, because of COVID, I think they'll understand. They'll be more understanding of someone who has less film than would normally be expected because less games being played, less this. This is the year where that might,
I have
coaches might be more receptive.
I got a bunch of videos on that you can watch, and then you see sports. Bunch of videos. I mean,
videos of what?
Recruiting. I've done like
how to get. I got you.
Oh yeah, I've done like 30, 40 things on that. So there's a bunch of stuff. Okay, let's pipe it up a little bit. We're some coaching. So Cristobal signed an extension.
Signed.
So did the coach from Coastal Carolina, I believe.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. They locked him up real quick.
Yep. And then how
about UAB coach took his name out of the Auburn job?
Oh, Clark did. Really? That's interesting.
Clark did.
Yes. So I'm getting right here. It says the latest that I said, so Malzahn's law 9 days ago now. Okay. Auburn held conversations with UAB coach head coach Bill Clark and Louisiana head coach Bill Napier, both of who said no. Steve Sarkisian said no. Clemson's Brent Venables said no. Tony Elliott said no.
Wow.
They can't. Yeah. Obviously, Kevin Steele is handling the day-to-days. He's in year one of a 3-year deal totaling $2.5 million. And he's been campaigning for the job. So at this point, if you're Auburn, do you just go with that? They're saying, talking to, their tier one candidates are obvious, Liberty head coach, former Ole Miss guy, Hugh Freeze. he's playing he's waiting to play a game against Coastal, but is that a move?
I mean, Hugh Freeze would be great.
They're swinging and missing.
I'm so surprised at that, but I don't know. It's like I said, like people. There's there's a list of demands that
I read something last night. I read something last night that said, are head coaches now timid to take jobs where the previous head coach has been fired after winning records?
I would be timid of that. I would
hey, this guy just went 8-3 and they canned it.
Yeah, I would be like, why did they can him again? Exactly.
I could see that.
Unrealistic expectations they're worried about. I mean, those are the kind of things that can really hinder a program. I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's.
I did think that was interesting, though. I did think that was an interesting little tidbit that said, hey, this guy just went 92 and they fired him, and they're willing to pay $21 million to get him out. So, woo.
I know, right? That's pretty crazy. It's really, really, really crazy. What about? I think there's definitely some shying away from that standpoint.
And another coaching. We had said, I know I had told you that Major Applewhite had taken the job with Butch Jones at his new stop. However, he has since walked away and will now be the offensive coordinator at South Alabama.
Say that again? Major Applewhite's going to be offensive coordinator at South Alabama?
So this is the move. He had taken the job. Butch Jones took, what was it? What was the job we were saying? I'm starting to get them mixed up. Jones had taken
Arkansas State
job at Arkansas State and had named Major Applewhite his offensive coordinator. However, within a week, Major Applewhite steps away from Arkansas State and will take over offensive coordinator duties at, I believe, South Alabama.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, I'll tell you another interesting thing that I just saw. Auburn supposedly is narrowing in on Boise State's Brian Harsin.
Yep. You're looking at the same article, I believe, on here.
Yeah. I mean, he's 69-19 at Boise. It's a pretty darn good record. That'll be interesting.
And most of those coaches that have moved on from Boise have been successful.
And a deal is expected soon. Ooh.
Okay.
There you go.
Matt Wells at Texas Tech also named Sonny Cumbie will be Texas Tech's next offensive coordinator. He had been the offensive coordinator at TCU. And he actually comes home because Cumbie played quarterback for Texas Tech.
Oh, wow. And then Baylor is going to get rid of Larry Fedora, offensive coordinator.
Yep, saw that too. He has not had a good run, man. I feel like he had done a lot at Southern Miss, went to North Carolina, didn't do well there. And then, it's tough, man. You see these guys at these jobs that, it's like one day they're the next hot thing, the next day they're, goodbye. It's tough. Coaching is tough, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, here's another one for you. And we had was funny because we were talking about it and I brought it up. Former UConn head coach fired. Defensive coordinator. Where?
Former UConn head coach. What?
He has been fired
from defensive coordinator position.
Correct.
Former UConn head. Diaco. Again?
Can this guy not keep a job?
Dude,
like what's that deal?
Star.
He was the hottest name coming out of Notre Dame a couple years ago.
Wow.
Right? And now all of a sudden, he doesn't get it done at UConn. He heads to Nebraska, can't get it done. 1 year at Purdue, can't get it. Does he piss somebody off? Does he rub people the wrong way?
Well, listen. I mean,
go ahead. Give me the story.
I've met Diaco a few times.
Does he come off that way? Is he that type of guy?
He's a different cat.
He's a different cat. I was just gonna say.
He's from Jersey.
Well, hence we are all different cats.
He's a different cat. Like, he likes to look good. He's like Handsome Dan. That's what he reminds me of. Like, but yet he doesn't like.
And what was the? Remember what I said to you?
You're expecting a certain. I think maybe the way he looks. He's a handsome guy. Works against him in a sense that, like,
you're expecting him to be this all around
charismatic guy.
But he's not. He's like a blah guy.
Not really his style. Yeah. And I think that
it's tough as a defensive coordinator to be that type of guy.
Well, he's a defense. His personality is really more like a defense coordinator. But he's like, you expect him to be this person that he really. I guess you're a little surprised when you talk to him. You're because just someone's looks. It's like, you expect me to, like, if you look at me, you're going to say, like,
I was just going to go there. Like, you expect me to be
a gritty guy, kind of a gritty guy. Yeah, that's who I am. I mean, I got a really good personality, mind you, and a nice smile. But I
think you're extremely bougie.
Really?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a gritty guy, and that's just kind of my stuff. But you look at you probably would expect that. Like, you look at him and you expect flash and dash, and
that's not what it is.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint it. I mean, kind of Randy Edsall has a little bit of that look to him, but when you talk to Randy Edsall, the way that he comes across is more tough professor-ish than he does come across.
Diaco is also a small guy, right?
Well, he played linebacker at Iowa, I think. He's not small. Lean. He's lean because he worked. I'm sure he worked out.
I get it. Everybody's lean compared to us.
Like Randy Edsall's tall, by the way.
I know. He reminds me of like a Herman Munster.
No. He's like when he was young, he was like that handsome kind of guy, but when you meet him right away, like when he starts talking, you realize, okay, that's like the way he talks and the way he looks. It kind of fits his personality. You're like, okay, I see that. Like Diaco.
I just remember he was the hottest thing coming out of Notre Dame. Right?
I like that. The things I actually like Diaco. I got along with him.
Is he what is he, a 3-4, 4-3? What is he?
My guess is he was a 3-4 guy, but I don't know. I can't remember.
In our comments here, Montel Allen said, if Auburn wants to make a buzz rival to Saban, you go after Urban Meyer, right? I said, to that I respond, yeah. I mean, who the hell wouldn't want to have Urban Meyer? And if you're looking for somebody to rival Saban, absolutely, that's a splash hire that you're going to need. I don't think Urban's up for that.
Yeah, I mean,
If he didn't make a real hard push for that Texas job,
Urban's has no interest. No interest. I think
his next thing is, where does Muschamp land?
The guy that we said from Boise State is going to be the guy. Where does Muschamp? Where does he land? He's going to be he could be at LSU.
That's what. Does he go home?
LSU.
That's where he won his national championship.
What was that with Saban or something?
Yeah. I would love to see him go back to be just a defensive coordinator again. Get a handle on his roots, run a defense, do very well, and then maybe get back into the head coaching game, man. But for your sake, Coach Muschamp, take a step back. Don't jump into another job right away. Take a year. Go be just a DC, man, and enjoy just calling a defense and not having to deal with all that other stuff.
I don't know about all that, but yeah, I think LSU could be an option. Maybe Michigan. I don't know. If you want,
it's cold up there.
Is it? It's cold. It's cold up there. Yeah. Well,
Muschamp's going from LSU to Texas to Florida.
So
South Carolina. Who wants to go to Michigan?
What do you think? What do you think about the Jets winning the other day?
I don't know. There's no way I can. How can you hate on a team for winning? I get that there is a consensus that you're going to tank to get the best quarterback. To get a generational quarterback that can ultimately, lead your team for years to come. But how can you do that?
I think this is a simple thing. You play as hard as you can. You give everything you can.
And that's it.
Coach as you can, and chips forward they may. I know the fans want, them.
They're so pissed. Like, those are the people that have never played.
Yeah.
Or if they did, they got a varsity jacket and we're in the picture and we're very happy about it.
I mean, a lot of NFL news say Josh Rosen signed with the Niners.
Oh, he's going back home. And home, I mean California.
Yeah, because I think he's from LA.
St. John Bosco.
Oh, is that where he played at? Okay. And then
watched him play as a sophomore live.
He was good.
He could chuck it, dude.
And then Haskins.
Oh, dude. I just when you sent me that today, it's like what are you doing? What are you thinking? I don't understand. It just boggles my mind. There's so many things that whole scene and situation boggles about me, as just beyond the fact that your team lost, right? Did they lose or win?
There he is up in the club.
Dude, my man, and it's not one of those, it's not like he's at Applebee's. You can tell what type of club he's at, my friend. He's got singles in his hand.
Yeah. I mean, can I circle that for you? There you go.
There's a lot of singles. There's singles in places right there that will keep this show to a certain level of certain level. Let's leave it at that. But
yeah, he's at a club where
you got. There's a pandemic going on. Okay, your team is in a fight right now to win the division and ultimately head to the playoffs, right? And you were benched earlier in the year because you're not as good for a guy who literally had his leg pretty much chopped off and eaten away by flesh-eating bacteria and won the starting job over you. But you're going to go out to the club and throw singles around like you're.
Well, I'll read you funny replies. That man should be commended. I think he meant that he spelled it wrong. Commended. He was doing community service, paying bills. Let's see.
There will always and forever be just,
dude.
These types now. Look, he made a public apology.
Maybe they're essential workers.
Is that what one of the replies was?
Yeah.
I mean, and did Washington win this weekend? I believe they did.
Yeah, well, that's why he's there. Oh God, there's some funny ones. So the biggest thing is, I guess they're mad that he had
because what's his name?
Right. That was
so this would all be if he had a mask on.
I think if he had a mask on, I think that's what they were kind of ripping him for. My thing is, the girls were maskless, I guess.
So is that what it says now? Is that the new on the side of those or on the outside of those type of clubs? It's maskless /
no, I don't
rankless XXX. Here we go. But what do you do? He made a public apology. Can you do anything to him?
He did make a public apology. He was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. That's what I like to. How I like to position that. Caught with the hand in the cookie jar.
As a organization, do you do anything?
Something's going to happen. He's definitely going to be fine. I don't know how much. I don't know how severely. But
$25,000.
Yeah, I mean,
players. I believe if we're fined, I think $10,000 for having no masks in the locker room. Is this count as a locker room?
No, I don't think so. Don't think so. Oh man,
these guys, dude. I say these guys because look, there's a lot that aren't like that, but times have changed. Everybody's got a camera on their phone, and if this was 25 years ago, you would have never known about that.
It's crazy.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong or indifferent, but I'm just saying, like, there ain't nobody in there, especially in a place like that. There's no TMZ cameras in there. You know what I mean? But because now everybody's got a phone or something on there,
man.
You can't do anything. How about just stay home, dude? How about ice? You just played a game. How about stay home and watch a movie?
Well, I mean, yeah.
How about you Netflix and chill? Not, maskless bar and chill. I don't know.
He's young. It's hard to.
He went to Ohio State. He's got somewhat of a head on his shoulders. He's got enough. I mean, he was a top draft pick, so that's a lot of singles.
Well, he's got a lot of singles, I'm sure. Moving on. Well, there was Juju Smith-Schuster doing his TikToks on everybody's
50-yard line logo, and then getting his logo knocked off of his freaking one side of his Steelers helmet last night on a crossing route. How? And you and I were both on the same page. Like, love it, absolutely love it. Because for me, if you're going to disrespect my logo, you are going to pay for it. And to me, surprising that the second I would be going into this is something he's done for a couple weeks now. Going into this game, I would have been out there early for pregame. And I would have been waiting for him to do this. And when he did, sorry, coach, but I'm taking care of this right now. This is not happening here. End of story.
Absolutely. I want to kind of shift to something. And by the way, I posted a video. I thought it was hilarious that when he got lit up.
Yeah, is that what you said? I think that's what you commented. Lit up.
I don't know if you saw the article today, and Chris chimed in. I don't know what is going on.
Who's talking about what's going on in the Big North because PC, the guy just walked away at PC and they hired the other guy, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I think that's Chris's alma mater too. So, sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris. But at least, hey, they hired a fellow alum, graduated in 2003, was on the coach's staff the first time around. I've spoke to a few people. He knows his way around the building. He wants to. Obviously, he's willing to do whatever it takes to get PC back to living, and hopefully he does what he can. But it's not going to be an easy task at hand.
He ain't bringing living back. There's only one person, actually two people that could do that. One's the head coach at Northern Highlands, and the other one is coaching in Mississippi.
And yes, Chris, you're right. The most tenured coach in the Big North now would be Coach Vito Campanella at BC. Then you have Sabella at Bosco with 3 years. And then, Morangi will be 2 at St. Joe's. And then you got a lot of first-year coaches. But understand something, DePaul with Campanella, he's been the assistant coach there for years. So even though it's his first year as a head coach, he's been within the program. This guy at PC, it's going to be his first year, but, he's been there within the program. So even though these are first-year guys, they've been there for a while. So
change in the regard.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So
interesting article today. I don't know if you read it on NJ.com about the Shore Conference realignment. Did you read this?
May have read it. Are you reading it now?
I'm kind of so first of all,
maybe I didn't read it.
As the head coach, I'm not going to comment too much on who they put in where, but I do love the idea of playing to a Shore Conference championship. We've talked about that. That's a slam dunk. How they go about getting to that, what they're trying to do is have 10 or 11 pod champions. So I don't know what that means. And why not have a Shore Conference like
upper and lower? 8 teams. Give me 1 through 4. Give me a 1 through 4 upper, a 1 through 4 lower.
You can't do it. You can't do it because you got the playoffs. You can't do it.
Why? You do it you play 6 games.
Okay. And how could you do it?
7 and 8. Week 7 and 8 are your 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3. The next week, winners of each play each other. There's your Shore Conference champion. Then you go round 1, week 9.
The only way, but you don't have a round of 8. You have a round of 4.
I'm saying 8 in the fact that you have 1 through 4 in an upper division, 1 through 4 in a lower division.
That's what they are doing, but they're doing it for all the things. So I think that
I think is so that.
What's interesting is I see the Toms River North coach commented. I don't know. The big winners in the new alignment are Red Bank. Here's this.
It's not a.
Hello? You're cutting out. Hello? Your internet, buddy. Hello?
The Toms River North coach.
There's something wrong with your internet. Do you know that?
Commented.
I think we're losing you for some reason.
Am I back now?
Yeah. What was that? Your internet?
Okay. I don't know. I'm not an IT guy.
You're on some sort of delay. All right. So I'll just read you what was wrote here. I think this is interesting. Okay. So we approved the 6-game schedule. Blah blah blah. Conference will be sending out feelers to find out who would like to play who. I don't know what that even means. We're moving for a short conference championship. That's great. Okay, that's all good. We want to have 10, 11 pod champions. That's fine. All right, here we go. Schedule is usually released in January. On paper, biggest loser in realignment appears to be Toms River North. The big winners in the new alignment are Red Bank Catholic and Lacey. So there should be no winners or losers in an alignment situation. So that must mean that Lacey and Red Bank Catholic are perceived as having a
better team than everybody else in their division,
which somehow managed to elude placement in the two biggest and presumed toughest divisions. Yeah, why does Red Bank Catholic want to play in a lower division? I don't understand that.
If you're a true competitor, and in my eyes, if you're Red Bank, why wouldn't you ask to say, look, like, I get it. You're placed somewhere, you're just going to play and go from there, but you would think that they would want to play in that, considered.
I don't know how they did this, but anyway, Toms River North 3-4. Blah, blah, blah.
They did it based off of it's broken down. If you go to the article in Jersey Shore Sports, it explains to you how they broke it down, and that last season record or the previous season record and people coming back was not a factor into placements.
What does that even mean? That makes no sense. So
it means that they didn't take the good teams from this year and say, hey, they won a lot of games this year and they bring back a lot of juniors and sophomores. Let's put them up here because they're gonna be good.
Okay, then why don't they just do it by group size? I don't understand that either, and put the parochials in their own division, and then they can cross.
The issue with the parochials was there's only 4.
Yeah, but then you could cross over with whoever you want.
Well, the problem is that if you did that, now they have to go out, right? Like, now the parochials have to go find their own games, and I'm sure that they're saying a lot of people would, it's what I'm saying. Like, what's the difference? Why would it, go play? If you're whoever, then you choose to play. They have to do it up north. Go play Holy Spirit. Go play St. Joe's Hamilton. Go play St. Augustine, and go play those teams.
I don't know. So okay, so here's what he said. He said, this is Toms River North head coach. Whatever the formula they're using, it doesn't pass the eye or smell test. We don't belong in that division. There isn't just a drop off from our team this season to next. It falls off a cliff.
Oh, so he's basically saying that his team was very good this year and now they're going to be horrible next year.
We've been a hammer. Well, hold on. So how? Yeah, but that shouldn't be a factor though, because I mean, you should take record into account, but you should. But how does anyone know who's going to be good the next year? So we've been a hammer net, but we aren't now. I never imagined we'd be over Southern. They beat us 48-14. It wasn't that competitive. Does the committee look at head-to-head? I know they say they don't use returning players in the process, but it looks like they use it when it's convenient. I got it. So here's what that means. Red Bank Catholic probably
said, we're not that good.
We're losing, right, a bunch of guys. That's what they're saying. We're losing a bunch of guys, although they still have a kid that's going to BC, and then they have what was our Red Bank regional lineman, who's now at RBC, who has Division I offer. So they have 2 Division I guys, which has to be more than most teams.
Can you send me the article so I can read it?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Hold on. Put it up here. Let me share it. It's interesting. I understand all the perspectives, like
because we've been on both sides.
Yeah.
in our previous stops and previous things like that.
From being from North Jersey, this has nothing to do with anything play whoever you put on the schedule, but just being from North Jersey and knowing the parochial situation, that it's just different. Now, I don't. I mean, Wall won it, so I mean, they proved it could be done. So I can't. Yeah, but it's a lot harder to get a guy into your school if you're a public school than it is a private. Okay, so this is basically the article. I'll fire you the link, but interesting stuff. Really interesting. They interview him intensely, like if they wanted a big Group 5 in the American division, should have been Southern, not us. It's frustrating knowing where our program is. Red Bank Catholic benefits significantly from the continued practice of not placing more than one non-public in the division. There's only one parochial in the division because those parochials are a multiplier, adding equity within the division. I get it. With the alignment, non-publics have a direct avenue to winning a division and a direct route into the championship pod. Wait, what? With this alignment, this is what the coach, the Toms River South coach,
Toms River South or Toms River North?
North coach, North. With this alignment, non-publics have a direct avenue to winning a division and a direct route into the championship pod. With the exception of Wall and maybe Rubson, public schools in the first three divisions almost have no chance of competing in the championship pod. It makes no sense.
So he basically also right there just took a shot at those other publics in those first two pods.
Not really. I don't think he's taking a shot at the publics. I just think he's saying that, like, in the past years, Wall and Rumson have been the most powerful. They're the only ones that have shown that they can compete consistently with the parochials. All right.
Mid-South?
Mid-South has, but they haven't. I mean, I guess you could say Mid-South in the past, but not. Yeah, I guess Mid-South has. It usually finishes them off for the year after they win the game.
Apparently, Southern hasn't. Southern played Donovan tough, Yep.
Keep in mind, Army team victories over. It's interesting. Right. It's another program who didn't fare well in the realignment is Homedale. 6-1, however, Homedale graduates 15 seniors. Wow.
Did they interview him?
No. Group. And they show the records. So this, I guess, I'm trying to figure this out. So, okay, the records over the last 3 years.
Okay, so then I'm just going to reference something because
we have 2 good years, right?
Put out an article as well today, and it's on their website, and you can see it. And it talks about this, the realignment. It talks about then the justification or what they're looking to do in terms of postseason play and how they're going to factor all of that in. So there's a good article there as well if you'd like to look, or our viewers would like to look.
So I'll tell you what is interesting here. All right, I'm gonna read the records of the last 3 years of the American division. Toms River North 18-9.
Well, so the American division is Toms River North.
I'm gonna go through when I read the records. So okay. This is the American division. Toms River North was 18-9 the last 3 years. Colts Neck 18-10. Donovan Catholic 23-6. Rumson Fairhaven 22-9, Wall 25-4. Okay, Colonia.
Hang on. Give me him again one more time, and just give me the records again.
They did some formula based off of the size of your school and your record. Okay,
so size plus record over the last 3 years.
Right, but they don't take into account, which is why Red
Players
Bank Catholic.
coming back.
No. Yeah, they're definitely not taking that account. How would they know who's coming back? The thing that they
and see who's 11th grade, who's
that's
10th
just
grade.
a silly way to do things. What they don't
might
take,
have preseason polls.
I don't know, because preseason polls are nonsense. So my point is, and let me finish my point. My point is the reason why like Red Bank Catholic is in our division, for example, is because they took the record in their group size, which is group 3. But what they don't take into account with all of the parochials, I guess, is the fact that they're a private school and they can get players. So I'll give a good example. So I gave you the American division, the Colonial division, Homedale 20-7, group 3, Middle South, group 4, 15-12, Southern 16-12, Mater Dei 23-8, Manalapan 13-12, but they're group 5, Jackson Memorial 18-11, group 4. Okay, so that's who's in the second one. Now, the Constitution, which we're in, Red Bank Catholic 19-6, Ocean 15-10, Raritan 16-9, Red Bank Regional 16-11. If we actually had won those two games, just those 2 games that we lost in close games, we probably would be in the Colonial
instead of Manalapan.
It's on the border. Mid-South could have went to Constitution, possibly. Yeah, could have been close. So we're 16-11, and then Manasquan 17-12. Okay, and then the Freedom Division starts the teams with lower records. But here's what's interesting. So Freehold Borough 13-13, Vianney 13-13, Toms River 13-16, Toms River South 13-16, Long Branch 17-14, but a group 4. Like you would think they, according to what they're doing it as, they should be up a level, and probably Manasquan should be in the Freedom, right? I'm just going off of kind of what the record kind of is. Or Toms River East, you could have done that with too. Then you got Independence, Howell 4-22, but they're group 5. Brick 10-17.
Brick Memorial.
Yes, Brick Memorial 10-17. Brick Township 13-14. Lacey 17-13. Like they seem like they're way better than the division that they're in.
What was Mid North?
7-20.
But a group 4.
Group 4.
So you're keeping your 4s and 5s there together. Lacey is a group 4 or a 3? 3.
Like Neptune should be up a level. They should be up, and Brick Memorial probably should be down a level.
Well,
how I understand, so let's say they went with a group 5 division. If you went with just a group 5 division, you would have
Manalapan,
Tierra North, Manalapan Southern,
and Jackson Memorial is a 4 or a 5?
Yeah. Howell and Freehold Township. That would be enough for a division.
5 teams, yeah.
Oh, and Marlboro's a 5. The 5s is not a great. It's not as powerful. Now the 4 is Colts Neck, Mid-South, Jackson,
Mid-North,
Freehold Borough, Toms River South, Toms River East, Brick Memorial, Brick Township, Mid-North, Neptune, Central. So there's 11 teams. So you can make 2 divisions out of that, okay? Then the group 3, you got group 3, you have Donovan, This is where the problem is. The programs, because you got Donovan, Red Bank, Catholic, Ocean, Raritan, Red Bank Regional, St. John Vianney, and Lacey. So you would have 7. That's kind of a little bit.
And if you are you counting?
I'm wrong. I'm missing. I'm sorry. St. John Vianney, Matawan, Manchester, Pinelands, Monmouth. So you can make and Jackson Liberty. So you can make basically 2 groups out of that. 13 teams. So you can make 2 groups out of that division. Upper or lower, although we would probably be in the upper of that anyway if they did it that way. But you would sprinkle 3 goods in each. Actually, that's what you should do. That's the Big North's way of doing it. And then, I mean, so you could group it by group and make divisions from there. I don't.
Yeah, because then you could do it 2, and you'd have Manasquan, Barnegat.
Sure. Keyport, Point Borough, Point Beach.
I think Keyport, Keensburg, those guys are 1.
But yeah, Point Borough, Group 1 and 2, just make all of them
throw them together,
split them up.
Central is a 3.
Central's a 5.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Lakewood's a 4.
Manchester's a 4.
Asbury Park is a Group 1 now.
I wouldn't want to play them. Like, how can you tell me Manasquan is better than Shore? Those 2 should be together.
Like Monmouth, listen to Monmouth's division. Monmouth is at the bottom division. Okay.
Yeah. It's you got Monmouth, Point Beach, Lakewood, Pinelands, Keyport, Keensburg.
I mean, so like that's ridiculous. So they're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, was Monmouth's gonna go 5-0 and not be like you can't. That's not the right way to do it. That is just not. That's you can't take Group 3s just because they're weak and throw them in the weakest division. Like, you got to have some. I mean, ridiculous. But
I guess those guys are. I guess that's why those guys make decisions, and we just dial it up against whoever they tell us to play, because it is what it is. I'm not about to be that guy or whatever. So put whoever you want on my schedule, and I'll go from there.
Well, that's because you're too scared to speak up.
You told me you said we weren't discussing this to a point of losing my shit.
No, I just think that it's close, but I think they have to rework a few things to how do they is their goal is the goal of Shore Conference pure equity? If it's pure equity, then you should have all comparable teams in the same conference. I'm cool with that. If your thing is going off of a record, like I'm just trying to understand the rationale. Like, if you're trying to anticipate who's going to be similar,
I wish you would put out a justification.
Yeah, like if you're trying to anticipate, if you're saying, hey, we think these teams are going to be similar, I guess I can handle that. It's not that it's
There's just not a clear read of why they did what they did.
And then is this a final thing? Because it was put out like it was final. It's interesting. It's interesting how it's interesting how they put the divisions together. Like I'm just not clear on exactly what the rationale is. Is it we're trying to taking the teams with 3 years and like size and trying to put them together purely on and are we saying that by let's say all the people in our division getting to play Red Bank Catholic, they get the PowerPoint boost?
Right. So that's justification for you playing them.
Right.
How did they come up with, if the American is supposed to be that big, whatever, why did they cut that off after 5 and the other one is 6? How did they make it? How did they determine that?
I just think they're trying to figure out the number of teams. I don't think that's
because if anything, if you're looking at records, modern day 23-8 should be up.
What were they in the second one?
Yeah.
They're group 2. So that's why I'm saying they're taking into account the size of the school.
Modern Day's a group 3, unless this year they changed back to a group 2 because they played DePaul last year for a state championship.
Well, it said group 2 on there. So that's how
they must have dropped their enrollment. Their enrollment must have dropped.
Red Bank Catholic is a group 3. That's why with their record and the size of their school, they're purely going off of that.
And SJV is a 3.
That's how you end up they come up with the division. So that's the I'm guessing that's the rationale. So it's
interesting.
It's interesting because if you look like us, Ocean, Raritan, and
Manasquan.
Well, I take Manasquan out because they're group 2. They have a similar record, but they're still a group 2 team. So I would say us, Ocean, and Raritan are pretty similar records over the last 3 years. Okay.
Right.
So if you're trying to get equity, it makes sense that those 3 teams are in the same division.
But then I would think if you threw, say Lacey and Colts Neck in there,
why is it
Manasquan and Red Bank Catholic?
Lacey should be in our division,
right? Instead of either.
I'm just going off. I'm going purely off of.
Right. I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah, Lacey. Right.
You can easily see a Lacey in there.
They're 17 and 13, group 3. Lacey probably should be in there.
Right. Colts Neck too, I could see.
No, Colts Neck's a 4.
Oh, size-wise, right. You're always going back. I didn't, yeah.
So I'm just going off of I'm just going off of their rationale. So that doesn't necessarily make sense off of their rationale. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With Lacey.
Yeah, that's Lacey's kind of the odd man out.
Right. So if you're going along their alignment rationale, then it can say
Rick's Memorial's a 4.
I think what throws it off because you're squeezing the parochials in there and you're saying you're looking at Red Bank Catholic the same way that you look at Red Bank Regional,
Where if you would have just taken the Catholics, put them in one league and said, look, here's your 4 teams. You got to go find games.
Well, we only have 5 teams in our division. We're going to have to find games.
Well, it's going to be our 6th is going to be 6 games will be with Long Branch, Thanksgiving Day. They're not stopping that until it ends or whenever. So there's another one.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm just saying
we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 games. We're going to have to – they're going to now, my thing is, how do you determine crossovers? Do you say, all right, Constitution, you're playing Patriot matchup, Red Bank, you're going to play, Jackson Liberty because you're similar sizes. Manasquan, you're playing Shore because you're similar sizes.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It looks
that's what my question
would be. Pick up a game, I'm guessing. So I don't know. It's confusing. It really is confusing.
Well, leave it to that to be the Merry Christmas of, hey, it's December 22nd. Let's release these divisions so these coaches can go crazy for the next and annoy their athletic directors for the next 2 days, worried about what's going to happen and moving forward. And do we need to get games in line? Do we need to start talking to people, setting things up moving forward, or how's it going to work with the pods or this or that, or Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right. Anyway, so that's enough about high school talk. Boring. All right, moving on. Anything else? I think we got everything. Any games tonight? Oh yeah, bowl game tonight.
Your boys won. You're up 1-0.
Who
App State won last night over the Mean Green.
Yeah, baby, 1-0 for me. Woo!
I believe Tulane plays. Tulane is on obviously right now.
And who do we say on that?
Hang on, I got it all written down. Or at least I got my picks down. I can't do your job all the time.
I definitely didn't pick Tulane.
I think it was Tulane and Nevada.
I definitely picked Nevada. So
I picked Nevada. I'm down. You're up 1, North Texas. So that's a loss for me.
Yeah, you went with your heart.
I will always go with my heart. That way I can lay my head on my pillow at night knowing I did the right thing.
It doesn't even make sense.
What do you mean? It's a conscience thing. Like I followed my heart so I can sleep at night. I can't believe I have to explain this to you.
You followed your heart?
I followed my heart by choosing the Mean Green because I had a connection there. I didn't necessarily think North Texas was going to win, but because I went with my heart, I can sleep at night.
Were they thinking about you last night, North Texas?
No. It's not about anyone else, my friend. It's about me and my decision. I can't control somebody else's actions.
I'll give you a famous line my father said to me.
Oh hell! If this is a Papa Schuman special.
Well, he did say to me, like, when I was a kid, I said, "Oh, so and so was my hero."
Oh boy!
And he goes, "What do you mean he's your hero?" I'm sorry. I think I said hero. I don't know if it was hero or he was my idol, something along those lines. And my father said something to me that stuck with me to this day. He said, "Don't place someone else on a pedestal. You can do things that they do." He said, that guy goes to bed at night, when that guy goes to bed at night, he ain't thinking about you. You're spending all your time thinking about him.
I didn't
get you where you need to be.
I thought about it for 15 seconds when we made our pick, but
I could care less who you pick. I'm just
hang on. I got one more thing to leave off on a very we'll go and how about we got 2 more quick things, negative and then a positive. Negative.
All right.
Negative first, rest in peace. Kevin Green.
Kevin Green, great defensive end. Hall of Famer.
I remember him more so towards the end of his career with the Panthers. You obviously remember him more so wreaking havoc on Dallas.
I guess when he was with the Steelers, maybe that's how I remember him.
That's what I would guess. So rest in peace to him. Young guy, 58, man.
Yeah. What was the cause of death?
I did not see. Nobody has said that.
Heart attack?
That's going to be your assumption? I'm going with non-COVID related.
It's definitely non-COVID related because they would have said the way everything is now, they'd be like, "Oh, it's COVID."
Does that have something to do with politics?
What have to do with politics? I don't know if it does anymore, but definitely 2 months ago it would have. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
And he was a outside linebacker coach, I believe, for the New York Jets with Rex Ryan.
No, that's sad.
I know he was coaching. Would love to see if he or if the family would allow scientists to take a look at his brain for possible, concussion syndrome and stuff like that. I'm really interested in those types of studies. I know you might be on the other side of the fence with it, but I think that after the Junior Seau stuff, what was the statistics you gave me yesterday? The 3 sack leaders or something?
Oh, have all passed away. Top 3 sack leaders of all time.
All passed away at younger than they should have ages.
Yeah.
But to leave on a positive note, little Kobe College information.
Kobe
with a big, huge monster sign from New Jersey.
Tell me who it is.
Someone we competed against.
Someone we competed against this year?
This year. We thought he was probably one of the best players we saw all year. Game 1.
Game 1. Game 1? The receiver?
Number 20.
The receiver.
Josh?
Not Julian Young. The
Josh East.
East. Yeah. Oh, he's going to Kobe.
20. Heading to Kobe College, man.
That's a good pickup.
He could probably play both ways.
He might be right. He'll be great there.
Right? Oh. Now that gets me excited because look, he had some talks and some offers or PWOs with bigger schools, and we're talking FCS schools, and decided to go to a smaller Division III college where, he can go now start for 4 years playing offense, defense, and returning kicks and punts. You know what I mean? Like,
great academic school.
Which tells you something else about that kid.
He must be a really good student, is what it tells me.
He also was probably one of the few to play all of their games this year, health-wise.
I just followed a couple Colby guys.
As far as coaching staff?
Yeah.
That's why you have so many verified followers.
I don't know if that's why, but
they just see.
Cool. That's cool. That's really cool. Good for him. Good player.
Very good player.
Yeah, he lit us up. So,
Kobe College is Maine.
Yep.
In the town of Kobe?
No, the town is Watertown.
It's a very, very Watertown. Oh, okay.
It's actually in the middle. It's not
near the middle of the state.
Yeah, kind of in the middle of the state. That's
8 hours to get there.
Colby. Oh, they have a day in the life of a Colby player. Oh, that's a cool little thing they're doing.
Look at you. And you went right to their website.
No, I'm on Twitter. Banging Twitter.
But I'm just saying, you went right to it, and that just, you hear somebody signs with a college, right there. Let's see what you got. I'm guessing they have a grass field.
No, they have great facilities, so I don't think so.
It's probably the only school within God knows how many miles.
Well, the University of Maine is there.
The Bears?
Bears, yeah. Well, the head coach of Colby was a longtime head coach of Maine, but he retired, and then he wanted to
get back into it.
I guess he got the itch again. Yeah, he was a great coach at Maine.
So he said, "Hey, let me just take over a school who's been getting my guys that have left my program for the last 10 years." and I'll just go.
No, I don't know. Well, no, Colby, you got to be like a Ivy League student. So
they're like an Ithaca.
No, Ithaca's not even close academically to Colby.
RIT.
Not even close to Colby. I would say Amherst, Williams,
Northeastern.
No, not even close.
Yale.
Just look up the average SAT score for Kobe's. Yeah, Yale. Well, yeah. I mean, Yale is going to be a university.
Holy Cross.
Well, who do they play? They play Trinity. That's a really good school academically. Bates. I don't know. Bowdoin. I don't know if Bowdoin's that good academic. No, they don't.
What conference is that?
They haven't, but he's new, the coach, so he probably will soon. Amherst, Hamilton, really good school. Williams, Middlebury, Trinity, those are like Wesleyan, great academic schools.
UConn.
No, UConn is not close academically. I mean, I love UConn, but for not even in the ballpark, my man. Not even in the ballpark.
Northeastern's ahead of UConn academically?
Probably, yeah. I would say that's probably yeah, Northeastern's a good school.
Boston College or UConn?
I would say Boston College is probably a little better.
Syracuse or UConn?
I would say they're comparable. Depends on your major.
Right. Business school, obviously, Syracuse.
Syracuse SAT score might, I don't know. They're probably pretty comparable. I would say like UConn is like
Rutgers?
Similar. Like Rutgers. Similar. Temple's pretty good. Temple's okay. I mean, Temple's one of those places too. Some of the majors are really, really good. Some,
So if you're playing football, you're probably a communications major at Temple.
Yeah, I think like the average let's see college rankings. I am curious actually. Now that we started talking about best college rankings, here we go. Is this USA News? Yeah, USA News World Report, the only one you go to. So let's see. The number one liberal arts. So there's liberal arts colleges, and then there's universities. So, for example, Williams is the number one liberal arts college in the country. It's expensive as hell to go there. $50,000. What is Colby? Let's see what Colby is. Colby.
You better start saving now, because when Troy wants to go to Williams.
So Colby is number 15 in the country. It's pretty high for liberal arts colleges. And their average SAT score at Colby?
13.
It's got to be
1250.
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I thought I would have it here, but let me see. I think they're SAT optional too because everyone's so smart there.
What does that mean? That means you don't have to take the SATs?
Like, yeah. I think they're test optional. Basically, they're getting like valedictorians basically into the school, I guess. But
you got 4.0 GPAs.
Required standardized tests, neither SAT nor SAT. They don't. You don't have to take it.
You don't have to stoop down to that level.
Yeah, that's how they're so snobby that you don't have to stoop down to that level. That's right.
Be like, you don't have to bother yourself on a Saturday morning in September.
You're a valedictorian.
You're good. Yeah, you're number one in your class. You're good.
Right. So now, if you went and you did universities, for example, Princeton was rated number 1, Harvard 2.
Yeah.
Columbia was 3.
Who's 2?
Harvard.
Love Harvard.
Columbia, MIT, Yale, Stanford, University of Chicago, University of Pennsylvania, and a few.
University of Chicago does not have a football team.
So let's see how far down do we have to go? Like, like these California schools, like Cal Berkeley's 22, UCLA's 20. And these are great. Michigan's 24. Southern Cal 24.
So there's a lot of California schools.
Oh, California is good.
How many Florida schools?
Well, University of Florida is number 30. That's pretty good. Rochester 34. Boston College is 35. That's a really good school, Boston College.
I had a feeling they were very high.
Yeah, they're
Rutgers top 50.
I'm moving through it as fast as Texas is 42. Wisconsin 42. Lehigh.
We got a guy.
Northeastern is 49.
Wait, what was that? I'm sorry. 49 was what?
Northeastern is 49. That's very good.
How about UMass?
UMass I don't think is high. UMass. I'm almost positive it's not.
Oh, you're scrolling down, so you're hitting them as you go.
Yeah, Syracuse is 58, so it's definitely above UConn. Florida State is 58. Wow, I didn't realize Florida State was a good school.
Listen, when what's his name last year? Was
Rutgers.
looking to go there.
Oh, I was right. Rutgers and UConn are comparable. Both Rutgers and UConn are tied at 63 with Penn State. So I was pretty accurate. They're tied with Penn State, Rutgers, and UConn are all 63.
So they were basically all the same school.
So UConn's moved when I was
here we go.
When I was in college, I have to say UConn was probably in the hundreds. 100, 105, 110.
Sacred Heart's in the top 100.
Were they? What number?
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh, I didn't see him yet. Hold on.
If you haven't hit on him yet.
I haven't gotten to Montclair State either yet. But I think Montclair State's considered a regional university, so they may not.
And if you actually probably looked at it, and for what I went for, it was probably one of the best, to be an educator as a teacher. Montclair State.
Oh, yeah, teacher. Absolutely. Montclair for being a teacher is great.
Right. No Just doubt. Like going to like John Jay for criminal justice,
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Some schools, you're right. If you're looking to be a certain thing, it's
like if you want to be in business, you go to the Wharton School of Business, right? Like
well, if you get in.
You got an MBA.
Yeah, I did. And I coach football. Okay.
That's true. Nicole says that every night. She goes to bed.
Yeah.
Be like, I got this guy. He's got an MBA and an undergraduate degree, and he coaches high school football.
And I took 27 credits at Columbia University in my master's to phys ed. So I have a master's credits alone.
Yeah.
I have 84 master's credits.
Yeah. So if you actually wanted to be in education, you'd be making as much money as you possibly could in education.
Yeah. I got into Georgian Court if I wanted to go there.
Where's Georgetown on that list?
Oh, I saw it early on. It was pretty high up. It was very high. It was like I want to say top 30 maybe.
Always had an appeal to that school.
Georgetown's great. Have you ever you've been to Washington, D.C., I'm sure.
Of course.
Okay. You ever go down? Because I lived in Northern Virginia in 1998, 99.
1 year, quick stop.
I was there, quick stop, and I loved it. They're number 23, Georgetown.
That's legit.
Yeah, they're legit. I love
Vanderbilt.
What's that?
Vanderbilt
must be
top 20.
I don't know. Oh yeah. Top 14. Yeah.
Nothing in the South compares to that.
In the South? That's a good question. Let's see. Is there anyone in the South that's rated higher than, yes, one school? You want to know the school? Duke. It's Duke, then Vandy in the South, then Rice. Those are the big
top 10?
Duke, Vandy, Rice. Duke is 12. Vandy's 14. Rice is 16.
How about Texas A&M?
Texas A&M was probably top 100. Oh, here we go. Texas A&M. Oh, actually, much higher than I thought. Right behind UConn. 63. 66. I'm sorry, 66. UMass is higher than I thought. 66. So I was wrong. I thought UMass was really like down a little bit.
NYU top 10?
No, they're not top 10, but they're like probably top 30, I would guess. Let me see. NYU. No, Notre Dame is 19.
I don't care.
I know you hate Notre Dame. Carnegie Mellon. Andrew Carnegie. I watched his life story a few times. Great story.
Carnegie.
Yes. New York, NYU, number 30. Great school.
Michigan?
Michigan's definitely top 20, 24.
Northwestern.
Northwest. Oh, you're really working me, huh? All right.
I'm just going. I'm going in my head like conferences now.
Northwestern has to be top.
Like Vanderbilt can say, "Look, we go 0 for every season in football."
Northwestern is number 9.
Wow.
That's wow.
And Mike Greenberg, one of the best announcers on ESPN from Get Up, graduated from there.
Oh, he must be really smart.
Well, he ended up on ESPN radio, so what is that? I don't know.
Interesting.
That's good
Fun
fact, my friend.
I used to love the college ratings because I find it so interesting. I could have graduated.
What number are you at right now?
I could have graduated from the number 1 school in America. Unbelievable.
Of course you could have. And I could be operating on your knee.
I could have played at Princeton. I didn't go. I took my recruiting visit there.
I looked at Georgetown. That's why I brought that up.
You had an official visit there?
No, hell no.
Oh,
you think I was going to take an official visit somewhere I knew I wasn't going to? Come on, dude. I wasn't exactly Mr. School until I realized, like, the harder I work and the more I read, the easier this stuff is. I didn't learn that till college.
Mm.
And then I fell in love with school. Interesting
stuff. Well, listen, I'm out of here.
Kitchen sink.
We covered some good topics. So if you guys are interested in college, we just went through a bunch of them.
Let us know.
Good show, man. All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
The coaching carousel will continue.
You got it, brother.
All right, man. Have a good evening. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you
later.